Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, no matter where you are, no matter what time you're watching this. Hello, friend, and welcome back to Lewks In The Library. Alright, y'all, so I have a feeling that this is going to be the last part of this book. To be honest, the story has turned me every way but loose. But I am very excited to see where the story is going to go. I have my look ready, and if y'all are ready, so am I. Let's get into this. Our featured palettes today are going to be the Spike Beauty Creative Expressions palette, the Nudes of the World palette, and we're going to find a topper out of this I Am by Danessa Myricks, the Lightwork 5 palette. So now I'm going to start for real. Also, Kimani is here today as well. If you don't remember, the last episode we did a collab, but hold on, let me put you up here so you can say hello. All right, the people can hear you.
Hey, y'all. You can't get rid of me.
All right. Alexa, play.
Shit. A few police officers were standing inside the bedroom taking pictures. Seeing them snap photo after photo kind of enraged me, but I had to keep my cool. Can you gentlemen give me a moment while I change clothes and grab some of my belongings? I politely asked. Sure thing, ma'am, they both said in unison. They were both chunky, older-looking white men with thick mustaches. Ew, I couldn't stand no out-of-shape man, especially no damn police officer. I didn't know why in the hell the Chicago police would allow these two fat motherfuckers to be on the force. Shit, if I was really in distress, I wouldn't trust these two at all.
Okay.
Now by myself, I rummaged through my dresser, grabbed a pair of jeans and a shirt. I made my way over to the bathroom and quietly closed the door. Standing in the mirror, I finally had the chance to relax a bit and stop putting on a goddamn performance. Shout out to all the women who could really act, 'cause honey, let me tell you something right now. Putting on this act for these officers truly was a hell of an Oscar performance. Now, don't get me wrong. I was a bit frazzled and fucked up in the head from everything that went down with Percy. What really disturbed me, though, was this drama he apparently had going on with Lamar. I didn't know how I was going to do it, but I needed to get to the bottom of their situation. Earlier, when that Detective Colvin was asking me a million questions, I almost told him what Percy told me about Lamar. But something inside of me told me not to say shit. Let's see how everything plays out. She need to stop listening to her inner person. I closed my eyes just to clear my head. Then I took a deep breath. As soon as I opened my eyes, I saw Alice standing behind me. Excuse me? You killed me, bitch! You motherfucking killed me!
Pause.
I'm screaming.
I screamed.
Pause. The same Alice that's dead?
The same Alice that is dead.
You know what? She just needs to go.
Go to the doctor.
That's what I'm saying. I'm tired for you, baby. Like, get some help, Vernita.
They need to lock her up.
They do need to put her in a home. Where is your home health aid? It's free with Medicare.
It's been out of hand for real.
Oh, it's outrageous. Every 5 seconds, she done imagine something. Now she done planned a whole leader in her head. Like, no, ma'am.
I bet you gonna kill me. Excuse me?
Excuse your mouth? All right.
That even my own ears cracked from my piercing wail. This ain't real. This ain't real. I shook my head, hoping I was just imagining Alice. You killed me, bitch. Push me down them damn stairs. You damn murderer. You 3 for 3 now, Clarence. Me? Now Percy. Bitch, you going straight to hell. Alice's voice, demonic sounding, kept firing off. You ain't real, I yelled, shaking my head to the point where my neck was gonna snap in half. I shut my eyes and squeezed them tight. Once I reopened them, Alice was gone. and so was her voice. I quickly scanned the bathroom, hoping that this was just a mere hallucination. Alice, I mumbled, my entire body quaking with fear. I didn't kill you. I swear I didn't. Is everything all right in there?
Hello?
A voice of what sounded to be an officer shouted out. Yes, I'm fine. I just saw a roach. I lied. Still standing in the mirror, I was coming to the full realization that I was quickly losing my grip on reality. Although I was a bit apprehensive about going to the hospital, I had to get the hell up out of here. I wasn't one of those types that believed in ghosts and spirits, but I'd be damned if I was going to become a believer today. I hopped in the shower and let the beads of hot water clean the blood off me. Once I got done, I hopped out, changed into a fresh outfit, and made my way back over to Detective Colvin. Ready? He asked. Yes, sir.
This is not real, because they would have never let you take a shower.
Struck by the number of people standing outside. Guess word was spreading around the neighborhood, because several of my neighbors were huddled up staring at me. Officers continued to comb in and out of my house. A few of them were also standing guard on my front lawn, talking amongst each other. As Detective Colvin escorted me over to the back of the ambulance, I paused for a moment and looked up to the deep dark skies, hoping my dark secrets wouldn't be revealed.
Lock her up for multiple reasons.
Chapter 24. Introducing Detective Mike Colvin. There's something about that lady. I don't know what it is, but there's something off about her. I took a sip of my cold coffee as I continued to scan my interview notes. I was sitting inside of my police car. The ambulance just took off with Miss Washington strapped in the back. My gut got that weird feeling anytime I knew something was off. The feeling was like a combination of tightness and nausea when I know something just isn't right. Why do you say that? My partner Jake asked, huffing. Colvin, I swear you always get these weird hunches. Remember the last time that happened? Your hunches almost got you rode up by the lieutenant. I rolled my eyes. Yeah, whatever, motherfucker.
Oh my God.
I wasn't that off with my last hunch. I'm usually 90% right. Yeah, but since you were 10% off the mark the last time, you almost let a killer have their way with a 5-year-old.
Ooh.
I shrugged my shoulders. Police work is complicated, man. Okay, so what's your hunch with this lady? Man, she's an 80-year-old who was just raped by some crazy-ass guy. What's more complicated than this? Yeah, I get that. I'm not denying that, but something is just off.
Okay, somebody got some sense
like
up in here.
she's telling the truth but lying at the same time. And those marks on her face and arms? What about them? They are bruises, but they don't look like real punches. I went silent for a moment, thinking about Miss Washington's recap of what happened. But I guess we'll see once we get some pics back of the rest of her body. Man, what in the hell did you mean by they don't look like real punches? I shrugged my shoulders. I don't know. Our suspect was a pretty heavy man. Huge hands. But the marks on her face look like she'd gotten into a fight with a kid or something. Colvin, just stop. Stop right fucking now. There's no need to dig this deep. Look, the man broke into her house, he held her hostage, tried to rob her, and then he raped her. Then, out of self-defense, she managed to kill the crazy motherfucker with a letter opener that she just so happened to have right by her nightstand. Case closed. Please, let's not make this extra work. I looked over at Jake and saw his chubby face getting redder than Mars. He was fuming. He absolutely hated it when my hunch had me digging too deep. When I felt a certain type of way about an investigation, I couldn't help but let my intuition guide me down a path that others didn't want to trek. I enjoy being a detective. Every aspect of homicide investigation is a fucking orgasm to me.
Oh my God. Okay.
I've been on the force now for nearly 2 decades, and half my career has been spent in homicide investigation. I live and breathe this shit. Hell, I have nothing else to do but work. My wife left me years back, and my only kid, Brianna, is away at college. She and I barely speak. So, when I have hunches, I truly have them because nothing else holds my attention but work. And I have to pursue every last one of them to feel satisfied. Being satisfied with my work is what keeps me alive. Brother, listen. I know you don't have a fucking life, but I do. And right now it's nearly midnight and all I want to do is go home to my wife, drink a beer, and then sneak away into the bathroom and jack my fucking dick to some of the pinkest
Alexa,
pussy.
pause. That's just a lot. That's just too much. It was so unnecessary. Why are we getting this story? Now the book is going in a direction that I don't care for. Like, why are we getting the cops' perspective?
Right.
Unless you finna lock her up. No. It's getting weird. It's getting really weird. Also, the blend on this look, ugh, sickening. It's all in the brush, though.
Pics I can find on the web. Well, if that's what you want to do, then by all means, do you. I said back to Jake as I sat behind the steering wheel, still going over my notes. But I'm gonna do me. You always do, motherfucker. My hunch was firing off. I felt like something was pulling me to go right back into that house and find exactly what the fuck I was looking for. Now, you can call me crazy and obsessed, but when I sense something's wrong about a motherfucker, I'm gonna dig deep until I find out the truth. I don't give a fuck if you're 8 or 80. Wrong is wrong. This old bitch wasn't telling me the full truth about what happened.
You see why she gotta be
Am
all
I
that?
trying to say what happened to her was justified? Of course not. But what I've learned over the years is that in these cases, you should never take anyone's word at face value. Even if the victim is some church-going, soul-food-cooking grandmother who can recite every Bible verse like it's nothing, that doesn't absolve her from the possibility of doing wrong. Everyone is capable of some shit. Even me. Be right back, I told Jake as I quickly hopped out of the car. Where the fuck are you going, Colvin? God motherfucking damn it. Get your ass back in this car now so we can finish up this report and go the fuck home. Without saying a word, I proceeded to walk off and toss the birdie toward Jake as I walked up the still crowded driveway of Miss Washington's townhouse. The first thing that struck me by surprise, though, was the car she had. What type of woman damn near 80 years old drove a fucking muscle car? Now, I get that people of all ages have a thing for cars, especially men. Old-ass men who are trying to live out their remaining days usually use sports cars to attract young pussy. Hell, if I had the cash, I'd be riding around the city in a Corvette. But the more I stared at this red drop-top Mustang, the more my interest in Ms. Washington grew. Granted, I could be making all types of erroneous presumptions about this old chick, but the nigga in me knew one thing. Old-ass black women never drove cars like this. Cadillacs, Beamers, Benzes, Lexus. That's what I would expect out of a woman who wants to spend some extra dollars on a nice whip. But a fucking Mustang? This wasn't even the type of car to have in Chicago. Especially during these crazy-ass winters. Nice car, ain't it? An officer on the scene asked me. I glanced over at him and then immediately drew my attention back to the car. The license tag was even crazy. Paulette. This lady had to be a character. Yeah, it is, I said to the fat white officer. This motherfucker needed to lose weight. I couldn't stand seeing fat-ass cops. I'm just blown away at the fact that this woman is driving a V8 engine. Nobody. This is a V12, a special edition Hemi. Miss Washington definitely knows her cars. Suspicious. V12. Yeah, no. This old bitch is definitely up to no good. That's crazy, I simply replied, and began to make my way back inside the house. By now, officers had begun to clear out of the house. Evidence technicians were done taking photographs and collecting evidence. In most cases, a homicide detective assigned to a case like this would have already had a report ready for their lieutenant to sign off on and close out the investigation. But not me. I was gonna be diligent about this shit. And I don't give a fuck if Lieutenant Daniels gives me pushback. You guys almost done? I asked one of the evidence technicians. Yep, she said, as she pulled off a pair of latex gloves from her hands and tossed them into the garbage bag. This lady is gonna definitely need to hire a maid service ASAP to get up all of this blood. Her entire bedroom is ruined. I chuckled, then made my way into the bedroom. I froze in the middle of the floor and took a deep scan of the immaculate bedroom, despite the fact that blood covered damn near half the room. This was a nice-ass townhouse. Given we were in the middle of Hyde Park, one of the most exclusive areas on Chicago's South Side, I knew this place had to be worth at least $1 million. I wonder what Miss Washington did for a living. As soon as I got back to my desk, I was going to research the shit out of this woman. I was going to research her deceased husband, too. I was going to get all up into this woman's shit. You find what you're looking for yet, Colvin? My eyes rolled when I heard the voice of my annoying-ass partner from behind me. No, but I have a feeling I'm close. Dude, just give it the fuck up, please. You are getting way too above your pay grade. Jake was getting annoyed. Give me 2 minutes, I swear I'm gonna find something that's gonna make you rethink everything. Please don't. I don't want to rethink shit. We have the case wrapped up. All we gotta do is finish the fucking paperwork and take our overworked asses home. Ignoring Jake, I walked through the bedroom toward the bathroom. I pulled the door back and then strolled in. Even the goddamn bathroom was luxury.
Alexa,
You would have thought you were in Buckingham Palace. I could sense Jake trailing me, and the moment he walked in, the first thing that came out of his mouth was, Italian marble. Damn, this woman is rolling in some cash. Exactly, I replied. Lots of it. That's a V12 parked out front, by the way. Special edition from what one of the officers told me. I looked over at Jake and he raised a curious brow. Really? Yeah. Damn, this lady is something else then. What in the fuck is she doing with a car like that? My point.
Minding her business.
Even Jake was beginning to get a tad suspicious. I stood in the middle of the bathroom for a moment. With my hands gripped to my waist, my eyes turned to inquisitive slits. I contemplated my next move. Come on, hunch, come on. I looked over to my right and saw a clothes hamper filled to the brim. That struck a bit odd, despite the fact that Miss Washington's living room was disheveled from the fight, and her bedroom was now a murder scene. The bathroom was entirely clean. But the hamper. Clothes were literally spilling out, and I couldn't imagine that a woman her age who kept her house tidy would allow her clothes to spill out of a hamper, like lava pouring down the sides of a volcano. See that? I said to Jake, pointing toward the hamper. See what? The hamper. What about it? That doesn't strike you as odd? No, they're just clothes. I chuckled, then strolled over to the hamper. Motherfucker, do not tell me you're about to go through this woman's clothes. The fuck is wrong with you? Every aspect of this house is a crime scene, you lazy fuck, including this hamper. Oh, wow. So now an old woman's shitty underwear is a part of our already closed homicide investigation. Unfucking believable.
Shitty underwear.
You are a sick fuck. Let me guess. This is just a fucking excuse for you to swipe a pair of her panties so you can go and sniff them all fucking day and night. There are websites for that, actually. What? Yeah, there are websites where you can buy used panties from women. Big business, apparently. You sick fuck. Why on God's green earth did I get partnered with you? I pulled back the lid to the hamper, a tad apprehensive about going through Miss Washington's clothes. Yeah, I couldn't lie. Perhaps if Miss Washington was no older than 40 and looked like someone I'd want to fuck, I'd lift a pair of her panties for keepsake. But I'd be damned if I was going to get off on the smell of an 80-year-old woman's crotch. I had some interesting fetishes, but dicking down old bitches definitely wasn't one of them. Without hesitation, I dug my hands into the hamper and started tossing clothes off to the side, not giving a fuck if I was making a mess. I could easily stuff the clothes back in the hamper, and Miss Washington probably wouldn't even notice that someone hunted through her dirty laundry. Damn, you could at least put on a pair of gloves if you're going to do all that, you grimy fucker. Ignoring Jake, I continued to toss clothes out of the hamper onto the floor. I hope my hunch was right because as I dug through, getting closer and closer to the bottom, I wasn't finding anything. But once I yanked out and tossed a pair of denim jeans, my eyes landed on something interesting. Look at this. I smiled as I pulled up a pair of stockings stuffed with lemons and tangerines. Jake's mouth dropped. What? Oh, wow, that's, can't be. That can't be what? Those punches. Bingo. Chapter 25. Vernita. The smell of the hospital was permanently fixed in my nostrils, now that I had been up in this place for what seemed like a good 6 or 7 hours. The doctors ran all types of tests on me. The police were constantly in and out of my room, taking a million pictures of my entire body. I felt so embarrassed, but I knew I had to do this just to get this investigation over with. I didn't even know what time it was. Felt like it was close to 5 a.m. or something like that. I was laying in the hospital bed, dressed in a single gown. An IV was pumping fluids in me along with some medication to make me feel relaxed. Although I was still annoyed for having to be here, this drug they had running up in me had me on cloud number 9. Some moments later, one of the doctors, who was this fine-ass young Arab-looking man, came into the room with a clipboard in his hand. Okay, Miss Washington, we ran every test we needed to and you are in good health. Oh, thank God, I exhaled, clasping my chest. Lord, this is just all so much for me to handle, but I thank God for you. You are such a wonderful doctor. The doctor smiled. My eyes latched onto his wide muscular chest and saw his name, Dr. Talal Aziz, written in cursive blue stitching. He stood a good 7 feet tall and had a dark, well-kept beard wrapped around his chiseled face. His hair was curly. His eyes were piercing green. Child, I didn't know these Arab men could be so fine. Although I was high as hell on whatever drug they had running through my veins, baby, my loins were starting to get moist. If I had the energy in me, I'd hop out of this damn bed, lock that damn hospital room door, and then get on my knees to stuff that dick of his down my throat. I quickly glanced down at his pants and saw his print. My eyes instantly exploded with the utmost surprise. That dick was like a baby anaconda just resting on the side of his leg. I bet you he had some big, long balls, too.
Prison.
Is everything okay, Miss Washington? His voice instantly snapped me out of my gaze. I looked up at him and said, Yes, I'm sorry. I just dozed off for a moment. No worries. That lorazepam can make people feel very relaxed. Nonetheless, I'll go ahead and have the nurse ready your discharge paperwork so you can go ahead back home. I do believe the police may still have some additional questions and even some paperwork for you to fill out, he said, with the biggest smile stretched across his sexy-ass face. Child, his ass was having me forget about every crazy thing I had going on at the moment. All I could think about was getting me some dick. That was going to be a true relaxer for me. Some Henny, dick, and weed was all I needed to put on my motherfucking menu right now. And when I got done, I was going to slip up to Wingstop and get me a 15 lemon pepper flat fried hard plate. Baby, I love me some Wingstop ranch. You hear me?
What does this have to do with anything?
So that's why I'm feeling this way. Makes total sense now. I was wondering why I was feeling so relaxed. I told the fine-ass doctor. Some dick in my ass would make me even more relaxed right about now was what I really wanted to tell him. The doctor gave me some brief discharge instructions and then made his merry way out of the room. Back to being alone all over again. I patiently waited for the nurse to come in with this discharge paperwork. The silence was beginning to annoy me, so I flipped on the television and landed on CNN. While the morning news played, I drifted off again, thinking about all the crazy shit that happened. I was definitely going to have to see Dr. Jackson to help me navigate through all of this mess. Some moments later, a nurse bumbled her way into my room. All right, Miss Washington. I got everything cleared from the doctor and I spoke with the police and they said you're free to go. Did you want me to arrange some sort of transportation for you? Or call some family members? I'm fine. I'll call for a cab, I told the short nurse. She walked over and began to take out the IV line running in my arm. After she bandaged me up, she handed me my discharge paperwork. I quickly signed off on the thick wad of paper so I could get the hell up out of there with the absolute quickness. Slowly, I began to make my way out of the bed to put my clothes back on. The clothes I wore to the hospital were inside of a bag, sitting on top of an adjacent countertop inside the room. Okie dokie, you're all set, the nurse said as she made her way out of the room. It didn't take me long to put my outfit on. Once I squeezed into my shoes, I began to make my way toward the door. Once outside, I pulled out my cell phone and dialed for a yellow cab. 5 minutes later, my ride came and I was quickly taken back home. As the yellow cab pulled down the street, I saw that red police tape still sectioned off my house. "Where are we going again, ma'am?" the cab driver asked in his thick foreign accent. "The house with the red tape." "Oh, wow." The African cab driver was just as stunned as I was at the sight of the red tape. I couldn't believe those officers would leave that shit, making my house stand out like a sore thumb. By now, it was nearly 10 a.m. and everyone who passed by now knew my residence was the obvious site of a horrible tragedy. "What happened there?" the cab driver asked. "Mind your own damn business."
Oh my God.
I spat back to him and he didn't say shit. He just kept his beady eyes on the road. Nosy ass motherfucker. I had it in me to report his ass to the immigration authorities. Black ass motherfucker, I was so mad right about now and the cab driver amped me up even more. Some seconds later, the nigga drove up to the entrance of my driveway. I threw him a $20 bill and got out of the car without saying anything. That nigga was so musty and stank. He had the audacity to have the whole entire cab smelling like old raw onion.
Okay.
Nasty motherfucker. Just as I was about to slam the door shut, I heard him mouth off, "Nasty old bitch." What? What did you say to me, nigga? Before I can get into that ass, his punk bitch ass took off down the street. "You son of a bitch. I'ma call Trump on your motherfucking black ass. Nigga, you got the right one today, bitch. You don't know I killed Renita." I immediately froze when I heard the sound of what I knew was Mr. Kilpatrick's voice standing not too far away from me. I cautiously spun around. "Mr. Kilpatrick, how are you?" "Renita, how are you? Is everything okay? I've been so sick and worried about you. I'm so sorry about everything that happened." "Oh, I'm fine now, Mr. Kilpatrick. I'm hanging in there. Just blessed to be alive. I really don't even know what to say. All of what happened seems so surreal. I just wish—" He paused for a moment, looking like he was holding himself back from crying. "I just wish I could have done more. I'm really sorry." "It's not your fault, Mr. Kilpatrick. It truly isn't." "Well, I'm just glad to know you're okay," he said as he leaned in and tried to give me a hug. I quickly jumped back, though, not wanting that old-ass Peckerwood to put his fucking clammy paws on me. "Sorry," he quickly apologized. Guess he realized if I was a victim of rape, the last thing I wanted was for a man to put his hands around me. "You're fine, Mr. Kilpatrick. Thank you for checking up on me, though. I appreciate it." "Okay, well, if you need anything, just let me know. I'm here for you. Just give me a ring if you need anything, Renita," he said through a nervous grin and then walked off. Soon as he walked off, I couldn't help but grimace. Why in the fuck were white people so motherfucking nosy? He needed to mind his own fucking business. Mind the business that pays you, cracker. All up in my shit. Punk ass didn't even come and save me when he heard Percy cursing and carrying on. I smacked my teeth as I yanked my house keys out of my purse. All of this fucking red tape around my shit. They couldn't even have the courtesy to remove this shit. Got me out here looking crazy. I yelled at myself. I didn't give a fuck if the whole entire goddamn city could hear me going off. I was mad as fuck. Shit, make me want to kill someone.
You did that 3 times already.
What the hell? My eyes shot open with fear again. I quickly looked around when I swore I heard the voice of Alice. I didn't see her, though. I closed my eyes. It's just a hallucination, Benita. Just a hallucination. Calm down. Calm down. I grabbed my chest. My heart was pounding hard. As I quickly tried to unlock my door, my hands quaked with sudden anxiety. The hallucinations, the voices, the flashbacks. Everything was beginning to really drive me fucking crazy. I got inside the house, slammed the door shut and quickly locked it. I stood there in the foyer for a moment, silent and frozen. "Alice?" I mumbled. "What you want, bitch?" My eyes once again exploded wide open. "Where are you, Alice?" "I'm right here, bitch." I heard her voice to my left and I quickly spun in that direction. There she was, standing there holding her neck as if she had immense pain radiating from it. She had a visible gash above her eyebrow. She began to move closer to me, limping as if she'd broken her ankle or foot. "Get away from me!" I screeched. "Bitch, I'll kill you." "I'm already dead, bitch. How in the fuck can you kill me again?" No, I didn't kill you. Stop lying on me. I wouldn't dare." Everything around me began to spin, and it seemed like I was in the middle of a violent earthquake. Suddenly, I took off running in the middle of my living room, making my way toward the bedroom. "Don't run, you old ass whore! You lying ass Jezebel!" I heard her shouting from behind me. "Get away from me! Leave me be! I ain't did nothing to you!" "Yes, the hell you did!" Once I flew into my bedroom, I came to an abrupt stop when I realized my entire room was still a wreck from when I killed Percy. "You killed me, Vanita. Why? Why did you kill me?" I gasped when I heard what sounded like Percy shouting at me. I turned to my right, and there he was standing there. The side of his neck was gushing with blood. "No, this is all fake, just in my head." "No, it ain't, bitch. You fucking kill me. You raggedy ass bitch, I'ma get you." "No, don't put your hands on my wife, nigga." Clarence? Was that Clarence? I spun to my left, and there Clarence was, walking slowly up to me looking like a zombie. "Why you kill me? All I did for you." "No!" I kept yelling as I flew over to my closet. I had to get my hands on my pistol expeditiously so I could shoot these motherfuckers. The police. I suddenly became immobile. Taking deep breaths, I closed my eyes. It's just all in your head, Vanita. All in your head. I reopened my eyes and the ghosts of Alice, Clarence, and Percy disappeared. "Lord, Lord, Lord!" I cried, shaking my head furiously. "It ain't in your head, bitch." No! Oh, Lord. These voices. This was just too much. Chapter 26. Detective Mike Colvin.
Why are we
Sleep
back?
deprivation was a motherfucker. But being deprived of hours of sleep is worth it if I can get the truth out of this woman. Where the fuck is this bitch at? I grumbled to myself as I kept pounding on Miss Washington's front door, wondering if her shady ass was home. I looked around and almost had the urge to go next door and ask a neighbor if they'd seen her this morning. I yawned. I was tired as fuck and I wanted to get this shit over with already. I stood back for a moment and took in the scenery. Wow. Hyde Park was an amazing-ass neighborhood. This townhouse complex was off the fucking chain. I always wanted to live in Hyde Park. The area was now booming and this luxury townhouse complex was built not too long ago. Anyways, I just got off the phone with one of the nurses at the hospital Miss Washington had been taken to after what happened last night. I was told she went straight home. The nurse said she flew straight out of the hospital and took a cab. Now, that was pretty strange. I wondered why she didn't have a friend or a family member come pick her up. That seemed pretty odd given that she was just in a fucked up situation. If a nigga broke into my shit and raped me, I'd be afraid to even go back home. I kept knocking on the door. Damn, lady, what the fuck? I was getting very pissed. As seconds turned into a minute, I was just about ready to give up and head back to the station. Still standing at the door, I put my hands on my waist and exhaled, wondering where this woman could have been. Then again, perhaps she did go over to a friend's house or something. I paused for a moment when I heard what sounded like faint screaming. Sounded like it was coming from inside of the house. What the fuck? Damn, someone's in there. I began pounding on the door again. Police! Miss Washington, are you in there? Just before I was about to bust open the door, I heard it unlock, and there she was standing there with the biggest grin on her slightly bruised face. Hey there, she greeted me enthusiastically. Detective Colvin, right? Yes, ma'am. I paused again for a second and scanned her up and down. I swear, for a woman who was just violently attacked, raped, and ultimately had to kill a rapist, she seemed to be in a somewhat festive mood. Nothing, and I mean absolutely nothing at all, made me think this woman was just a victim of a horrendous crime less than 24 hours ago. Is everything okay? I was just swinging by to check on you. I just called the hospital and they told me you were home. I had been knocking on your door for quite some time. I let out a weird nervous chuckle. I think I may have even heard some yelling going on. Miss Washington exploded into laughter. Child, I was just sitting there singing to myself with my earphones on. I was just trying to get myself together and get my mind off of everything that happened. Okay, I replied, and then we both just stood there staring at each other in complete silence. Shit was starting to get super weird, so I broke the uncomfortable silence. Well, I have some more follow-up questions. Okay. And suddenly, that smile of hers turned partly flat. Can I come in? I politely asked. I didn't want to stand outside. The weather was a bit chilly. That was one thing about living in Hyde Park. The neighborhood was right off the fucking lake, and the winds that rolled off the lake shore were nasty, especially during this time of the year. My house is very much still a wreck. I got these folks coming over soon to clean up the place. Well, if you don't mind, I can just ask a few questions here. I could tell I was getting on this woman's nerves already. Her ass was probably super suspicious that I had an inkling about her lies. No, I don't mind. Ask ahead, she said, tucking her hands under her arms as she leaned against the frame of her front door. So, once again, I just want to say I know all of this is very devastating to you, and I deeply apologize that something like this happened. I just want to make sure before I send my final report over to my lieutenant that I got all my facts straight. Okay, no worries, sweetheart. Ask away. Cool. I quickly pulled out a notepad and a pen from my jacket pocket, flipped open to a blank page and asked, So, those punches on your face, you said the suspect, when he broke into your house, began punching you around until you fell out on the floor? Yes, that is correct. Wow. You must have put up a good defense because in any circumstance, you could have easily sustained more damage to your face. I'm surprised you didn't get a broken jaw or something, especially considering your age. Yeah, I went there. I knew it was borderline disrespectful to bring up a woman's age, but hey, it is what it is. I guess my statement must have rubbed her the wrong way. Her eyes briefly broke their attention away from me, and then she smacked her teeth. My age? Now what is that supposed to mean, detective? No disrespect, I said, flashing her an instant sham smile. But you are a bit up in age, and the suspect was in his 40s, I believe. Actually, late 30s. I'd have to double check. But that brings me to another point. This suspect, you said you knew him from years back? How is that? He was my husband's caretaker at the nursing home he had been staying in before he died. Interesting. Okay. And how exactly did he know where you lived? Well, she took a deep breath as she clutched her chest. We remained friends. I don't know what to make of it all. I never would have thought he would do something like this to me. He was such a nice young man to me. Wow. Yeah, that is crazy. And you said this was over money? Yes. He kept mentioning this man named... I forgot. Started with an L. Lawrence or something. Okay, well, I'll keep that in mind. Any other questions, detective? I really hate to be short, but I got a lot of stuff on my plate right now, and I need to get to my doctor. Also, my friend's funeral is coming up pretty soon, and I'm still so devastated by that. I gotta help the family with funeral arrangements. I understand. Well, yeah, that's all the questions I have for right now. And you have my condolences. Thank you, detective.
Lies.
No, thank you, I replied, giving her the biggest grin I could make. But then I knew this next question would throw her for a surprise. By the way, do you prefer the taste of tangerines or oranges? Her unassuming eyes instantly became large with fear, and I could tell she was fighting hard to stop herself from producing a scowl. Then she smiled, which I knew was nothing more than a fraudulent smirk masking her unexpected nervousness. Huh? Excuse me? Never mind. I just have a hankering for something sweet and tangy. I saw the lovely fruit bowl on your kitchen countertop earlier. Sorry, just random questioning, I told her as I quickly put my notepad and pen back into my jacket pocket. Oh, okay then. Well, I prefer tangerines, she replied. I love to put them in my morning smoothies. But anyways, detective, I gotta get going. She looked over my shoulders. The cleaning folks just arrived. I turned around and then saw a white Ford minivan pull up. 2 Mexican-looking motherfuckers hopped out. Both of them had on white jumpsuits and N95 masks wrapped around their faces. As they began walking up the driveway, I looked back at Miss Washington and reached my hand out to shake her hand. I'll be in touch, Miss Washington. She cautiously shook my hand, then pulled away as if I was some pervert or some shit. By now, the 2 cleaners were a foot away from us. Hello there. We're here to clean up the house, one of the cleaners said. Yes, come on in, uttered Miss Washington to the cleaners, but she kept her eyes glued on me. Guess now she knew. I knew. I spun around and made my way back to my car. I chuckled knowing that I was inching closer and closer to the truth. This old bitch was telling all types of lies, and I was going to get to the bottom of it. Once I hopped in my car, I checked my cell phone for any missed calls or text messages. Lo and motherfucking behold, I saw that I had 5 missed calls, all of them straight from my lieutenant. Then I checked my text messages. Boss even sent me a text. Seemed like I was in trouble. I opened the text message. Bring your stupid ass back to the station now. On that note, I quickly chucked up the engine to the cruiser and headed back to the station. Back in the station, my partner Jake and I were sitting in our lieutenant's office getting our asses handed to us. Please explain to me why you're letting this low-life motherfucker run wild into my partner Jake's face. I'm not gonna hold him accountable because I already know he's a prying piece of shit that doesn't know how to mind his own fucking business and just go with the facts at hand. So I'm blaming your ass, Jake. I can't believe you 2 are gonna pull this shit. An old woman gets her house broken into and she's raped. She defends herself. Case closed. What more else is it to this? Jake cleared his throat. Lieutenant, with all due respect, I tried to tell him to back off and close out the case, but we what? Lieutenant interrupted Jake and threw his hands up in the air. Before Jake could finish his statement, the lieutenant continued. I don't give a good goddamn what this asshole over here thinks. You need to push back and hold him responsible. Then, Lieutenant Daniels, with his big, black, and menacingly ugly ass, stared directly at me. And you, I swear on my dead mother's grave that if your clearance rate wasn't as high as it is, because I must admit you are a pretty good detective, I would have your ass working evidence. Better yet, I'd have the fucking commander assign your punk ass to traffic. Stick your ass out somewhere on the far northwest side. And you know those senior citizens out there obey every fucking traffic law in the land. With a small smirk on my face, I was confident once I told the lieutenant of my little discovery, he'd back the fuck off and let me do my thing. A slight silence filled the room for a moment. Why aren't you saying anything? Say something, motherfucker! Say something or I'm gonna write you up for insubordination! Screamed the lieutenant as a few of his spit speckles landed on my forehead. Gross. Without saying a word, I reached into my jacket pocket, pulled out a few photographs and placed them on Lieutenant's desk, gently sliding them in his direction. "What's this?" "Look closely," I replied, and sat back with my arms folded, anxiously waiting his reaction. "I took these with my phone and then printed them out a moment ago." Lieutenant's face was screwed with confusion. "I'm not quite understanding what the fuck I'm looking at, Detective. All I see is a pair of stockings with some balls stuffed in them. What the fuck is this?" "Sir, those aren't balls," I said. "Then what are they?" "Those are tangerines." "Okay, and?" I snapped my fingers, trying to remember the woman who played that crazy-ass chick in that movie. "You ever seen that movie, A Thin Line Between Love and Hate? The 90s flick with Martin Lawrence and the chick with the big forehead." The lieutenant's eyes widened as if everything clicked in his head. "Lynn Whitfield. And yes, I've seen that movie. But no." The lieutenant shook his head with fervor. His entire body language instantly became fluent in disbelief. "See? I told you. Case ain't closed," I said, laughing. Jake took a quick glance over at me and then shook his head. I didn't know if he was shaking his head out of embarrassment or shock that I persuaded the lieutenant. However, the boss stood there for a moment, wrapped in deep silence, and guess he was trying to put everything together. "Colvin," the lieutenant said in a tone that had me convinced he was convinced. "Yes, Lieutenant," I replied. "Get this shit out of my face. Throw these pictures away. I'm tired of your shit. End the fucking case, you zealous son of a bitch." "But Lieutenant, this doesn't seem shady." "I don't care," Lieutenant interrupted. "Close out this fucking case now. Have the report on my desk by 5 p.m. or I'm writing you up for insubordination, and I will put in a request to transfer your ass to traffic. Now the two of you get the fuck out of my office." With that being said, I nodded at Jake and then we proceeded to stand up. "Well, Lieutenant, it's your squad and I will follow orders," I said. "I'll have that report on your desk ASAP. And close my motherfucking door when you two assholes leave," he yelled, as Jake and I walked out of his office. Following his stern instruction, I gently closed his door. Jake and I took cautious strides toward our cubicles, while the rest of the detectives on the floor gave us awkward stares. They must have heard all the screaming and cursing. Once we made it back to our cubicles, I sat down at my desk and a wave of fucking anger came over me. Jake sat down, then rolled up to me in his chair. "Listen, brother, you know, sometimes I'm just fucking joking with you. Man, you're a great detective. You've solved a bunch of cold cases, but this one right here, just drop it. There's absolutely nothing going on with that old woman. That's what you all say every time," I said, turning on my computer monitor. I booted up my PC. "I'll finish out the report, but that doesn't stop my investigation." "What are you talking about?" Jake angrily asked. "Dude, just fucking drop it. Unless you seriously want out of homicide. And if that's the case, you can commit career suicide by yourself. I'm gonna do what the fucking lieutenant says." "No, I'm not committing career suicide. I'll do my job, but that won't stop me from finding the real truth. And when I do, I'll bet my money on it that this is a much bigger story." Jake smacked his teeth and said, "Okay, well you do that." He rolled back over toward his desk. Once my PC got started up, I logged in, quickly opened up Microsoft Word, and began to finish my investigation report. Truth be told, I had an inkling the lieutenant would rip into me and threaten to write me up for not closing out the case much earlier. So, that being said, most of my report had already been completed. My ass worked on it all fucking early morning soon as I left the crime scene. Although I was running on 0 hours of sleep, nasty-ass McDonald's black coffee kept me fueled. But now, sleep was truly setting in, and once I got done with finalizing some of these notes, I was going to head straight home. I had the next 2 days off, so I figured I'd use those days to start doing my own off-duty investigation. I wasn't going to let Miss Washington get away with a crazy-ass lie. Just before I was about to get to typing, I heard a knock on the side of my cubicle. I glanced up and saw it was a beat officer in full uniform. He was a younger dude, looked like he was new to the force. Black, too. "What's up?" I said, and looked back at my monitor as I began typing. "Hey, detective, I was told to come see you," he said. "About?" "Last night. Well, early this morning. The rape murder case over in Hyde Park." I looked back at the young officer. "Yeah? What about it? It's a closed case already." "Yeah, well, okay. I don't know if you know this, but that old lady..." I paused for a moment. I could find my intuition begin to fire up. Please let this young dude have something good for me. "What about her?" "Something's off with that chick." "What do you mean?" "Well, just a few weeks ago, we caught her having a full-on psychotic breakdown in the women's locker room at the health club on 47th Street. "What's your name, officer?" I asked the rookie. "You must be new." "Yeah, I am. I'm Officer Harrington. I've been on the force now for about 6 months." I guess what Officer Herring said just caught the attention of Jake. He rolled over in his chair next to me, and now we both were giving Officer Harrington our full attention. "Okay, so tell me about this psychotic episode." "Well, we were called to the gym sometime in the mid-afternoon. When we got there, she was literally squatting down and pissing all over the floor." He paused for a moment, then cleared his throat. "But that's not the crazy part." "Shit, then what is it?" asked Jake in what was his typical sarcastic-ass tone. "She was pretending like she was having sex with someone. It was almost as if she was squatting over someone's face and someone was performing oral sex on her." Jake and I instantly looked at each other. "Told you," I laughed. "Just drop it," Jake huffed, and then rolled over to his desk. "Well, thanks for that info, Officer Harrington, but like I said, the investigation is closed. Crazy story, but it ain't none of our business. Besides, did she get arrested for anything?" "Nah, we just let her go. Felt kind of bad for her," the rookie said. "But anyways, considering what happened earlier this morning, I figured you all should know that." "All right, thanks. Well, let me get back to this report, and you get back to your beat," I told the rookie. He wandered off, and I went right back to finishing up the report. I definitely wasn't going to sleep now. Chapter 27. Vernita. Tangerines? What the fuck did that motherfucker mean by tangerines? He must have gone through my shit. I just know it. Why else would that nigga mention tangerines? Yeah, he went through my hamper. That was exactly why he thought he was being all cute and shit talking about tangerines. That nigga must have thought I was dumb. Rage instantly brewed down within me when that no-good rotten-ass detective thought it was a tad funny to make that snarky-ass joke about tangerines. I stood in my door, watching his ass make his way back to that raggedy piece of shit cop car. Low-life motherfucker. Gon' come and try to get under my skin. I was just a rape victim, nigga. Yeah, I knew exactly what the fuck he was doing. He came over to my house to ask me some follow-up questions, all right. Nah, you think you own to something. But I tell you right now, your ass ain't on the shit. You ain't gonna solve shit over here, buddy. Got that fucking right. Okay. Calm down, Vernita. Calm down. Don't make a scene. Do not make a scene, girl. Maybe the man really did see the fruit bowl sitting on top of the kitchen countertop. Yeah, that was it. Had to be. Why else would he go through my clothes like that? Girl, you tripping. I kept reassuring myself, but I just had this inkling that nigga went through my shit. I couldn't help but swim down that vicious stream of thought. And the more my anxious mind kept dwelling on it, the more I could feel my pulse thumping on the side of my neck. My blood pressure was up. Felt like I was about to have a stroke and a nervous meltdown all at the same time. Like a ticking time bomb, I was ready to explode, but I had to keep my calm as I kept my eyes on the detective. Then I heard the engine to his car start up. While he idled on the street for a moment, my gaze then wandered over to the two cleaners standing in front of me. I stared at them for a moment, but my mind was drawing blanks. "Miss Washington?" one of them asked. "Yes." but my eyes were now back onto the detective's car. I clenched my fist tight. Calm down, Vernita. Calm down. He don't know shit. You're overthinking this shit. Within seconds, I managed to subside the paranoia within me, but I couldn't help but think that this detective was trying to figure me and my shit out. Gosh, I was so motherfucking mad. Child, I swear I just had it in me to go and cuss that punk-ass nigga out. How dare he? You know what? Soon as I got back into the house, I was going to call up the police station and ask to speak to his motherfucking supervisor. How dare he come over to my house unannounced and try to ask me all of these intimidating questions? Punk-ass bitch. Ma'am? One of the cleaners asked, breaking me out of a deep trance. Oh, shit. I realized I had dozed off as I watched the detective speed off. Sorry about that. Y'all come in. I'm so glad y'all were able to come down as soon as possible. I quickly apologized to the cleaners and then let them inside the house. It was such a nice day out. Might have had to take me a walk later on. Seemed kind of windy, though. I quickly slammed the door shut and locked it once the two gentlemen were inside. I led them into the bedroom and showed them what needed to be cleaned up. Thank God I was able to stop those crazy hallucinations. Ever since I had come back from the hospital, I kept getting haunted by visions of Clarence, Percy, and even Alice. They felt so real, but I knew they weren't. At least that is what I had to keep telling myself. But honey, I really needed to call Dr. Jackson as soon as possible and figure out what the fuck was going on with that goddamn medicine she had me on. The shit was way worse than any other damn medicine. Praximal, Paracetamol, whatever the fuck it was called. Child, I done forgot. Shit, truth be told, only thing I missed about that medicine was how horny it made me. Ooh, child, Vanita could show you some dick right about now.
Oh my
But
goodness.
baby, this new medicine here that Dr. Jackson had me on, it definitely was worse than any other shit because I was seeing all types of crazy stuff. Let me find out that damn medicine was making my tumor worse. I'd run down to that damn doctor's office and wrap my hands around that little stank bitch's throat. See, I done already told her I didn't want no goddamn medicine in my body that was gonna have me fucking crazy. She knew how I felt about putting that stuff in my body that was gonna make me loopy. This was all too much. Just too much. Especially considering everything that happened with Alice and now with Percy. Lord, Lord, Lord. I had no idea why you're doing all this to me, Lord, but I don't deserve it. I don't deserve none of this here. Okay, Vanita, get it together. Get it the fuck together. I had to snap back into reality before I scared away these two nice men. The two young Mexican guys stood a few feet away from my blood-soaked bed, assessing the amount of work they were probably going to have to do. They were speaking in Spanish amongst each other, and every few seconds or so, they would look at me with this weird-ass look. They were probably wondering what in the hell happened. I didn't give them that much detail when I had called them an hour ago. I just told them that a crime had been committed inside of my house and I needed someone to help me clean it up as soon as possible. One of them looked at me strangely again, and I was just about ready to pop off on him if he kept giving me that weird-ass stare. Yeah, motherfuckers. Someone died up in here. Yes, I killed someone. I was mad, too, because these motherfuckers were charging me an arm and a leg. $600 plus an additional $200 for the rush job. Fucking rip-off. They kept talking to each other in Spanish, and as time flew, I was getting ready to cuss them the fuck out. Excuse me, but when do y'all plan on starting? 'Cause I got some things to do. Do y'all have everything you need? I asked, not trying to sound annoyed as fuck, but baby, I was annoyed. We're just trying to figure out exactly all the chemicals we need. That's all. One of them said back to me. Oh, okay, I said as I stood back for a moment, wondering once again why in the fuck that damn detective made mention of tangerines. I just couldn't quite shake what that nigga said out of my mind. I just knew he had to have gone through my hamper. I knew he did. I could feel it. Why else would that nigga make mention of that shit? No, he was fucking with me. He must have easily figured out that Percy didn't really put his hands on me like that. I'll be right back, I told the cleaner as I marched over into the bathroom. Y'all excuse me, I said with a phony smile on my face as I gently closed the bathroom door. Soon as the door closed, I flew over to the hamper and tossed the lid back. I paused for a moment, wondering if I could notice if someone had been running their claw hands through my shit. And indeed, my suspicions were confirmed. The hamper looked like it had been toyed with. I could just tell. I didn't just throw my shit in the hamper any old way. Yeah, something was definitely off. I could tell. God damn it. I saw a pair of jeans sitting on top of the pile inside the hamper, and that was my sign right then and there that someone had been through all my shit. I knew it. That nigga is fucking with me. I spat out loud, but then quickly clasped my mouth. I forgot just that quick I had company. Okay, calm down, Benito. Calm it down, girl. Don't go crazy now. Just calm down. It's all in your head, just in your head. Baby, I had to keep repeating that in my head just to get my nerves together. I kept taking deep breaths to simmer the rage once again, brewing deep down in my core. I began pulling out clothing item after clothing item from the hamper until I got down there to the bottom. Soon as my eyes landed on the tangerine-filled pair of stockings, I yanked it out and took a good gawk at it. Yeah, he knows. He knows. This nigga think he's slick. Think he gonna try to figure some shit out. Okay, motherfucker. Bring it, knuckle. Bring it. I want you to try me, ho. Try me. My breathing once again intensified to the point where I was damn near hyperventilating. Felt like I was about to have a full-on asthma attack. Yes, bitch. He's on to your shit now. My eyes exploded once again with terror when I heard the voice of Alice over my shoulder. I quickly turned around, but she wasn't there. Don't fuck with me. I got company, bitch. I couldn't help but yell out, but I had to cover my mouth again. Fuck. Fuck, fuck. I grumbled, then began pacing the bathroom floor like a maniac. You know what? These crazy-ass visions were all I needed to know that I had to get the fuck up out of here and just let these Mexican boys clean my shit up. Truth be told, I didn't even know if I could stay at my own damn house tonight, let alone for the next few days. I had to get the fuck up out of here. Without even bothering to put the clothes back into the hamper, I stormed out of the bathroom. The two cleaners, who looked like they were in the middle of moving furniture around, immediately stopped what they were doing. Is everything okay, Miss Washington? Oops. I covered my mouth like some little girl. Y'all heard me? Yeah, I'm fine. I was just on the phone talking to one of my good girlfriends. I lied with the biggest smile etched on my face. I'm gonna let you boys do your thing. I'm just gonna pack up a bag of some clothes and find me a hotel where I can stay for the next few days. But how are you going to lock up your house? One of the cleaners asked while I noticed my phone was actually charging on my nightstand. Damn, now it was obvious I had told them a lie. I ran over and grabbed my phone. I then ran over to my jewelry box sitting on one of my bedroom dressers. I yanked out a spare house key, then rushed over to one of the Mexican boys. Y'all ain't some thieving ass motherfuckers, are you? Child, you just know I had to ask, 'cause see, these Mexicans be known to break into your shit and clean your place the fuck out. No. One of them, who was a tad short and stubby, responded. He seemed very weirded out to me. Why would you ask that? Well, I'm gonna leave you all a key. The alarm code, 445-529. Do what y'all gotta do. Have my shit looking like it's a brand new house and I'll throw y'all an extra something. I grinned. Can you do that for me? A brief moment of awkward
I
silence.
would never
filled the
leave
room.
nobody in my house. Like, that's
Sure. But how much is this extra something? One of them asked. How about another 500? Does that work? How about 500 each? Hopefully that would get them to just shut the fuck up and get to work. Both of the Mexican boys looked at each other with enlarged eyes, and then they both stared at me. Sure, they said in unison. Guess they didn't have to speak in Spanish to quickly say yes to my proposition. Although this was now going to cost me thousands of dollars to get my place back together, at this point, I didn't give a damn. I just needed to get the hell up out of here and get my mind right. This was just all too much. Too much, I tell you. Okay, great. Just charge it to my card, I quickly exclaimed as I dashed over to my closet. Once inside, I grabbed the first piece of luggage my eyes landed on, and then began stuffing it with as many clothes as I could grab off the hangers. I stormed back out of the closet and went on to one of the many dressers where I kept some more clothes. I had no idea what the fuck I was putting in my bag, but all I knew was at the moment, I needed to get the hell up out of there. If I needed something, I'd just have to run my ass to Target or some other department store. Chapter 28. Detective Mike Colvin. As soon as I submitted my case report over to the lieutenant, he shot me back an email telling me I needed to take the rest of the week off. Told me I need to stop thinking about work for the next few days or so. This wasn't the first time he dished out one of his lectures to me about work-life balance. He always told me I needed to stop being so obsessed with trying to figure everything out, and that I needed to learn how to set boundaries. So now that's what I was doing. Taking my mind off work, and I figured there was no other way to do that other than drill deep into some pussy. Yeah, fuck me.
Okay.
Fuck me harder. Fuck me. I just wish this bitch would fucking nut already, so I could get the fuck on with the rest of my day. I thought busting a nut would at least help me sleep, but I couldn't even fucking let one go. I was gliding in and out of the pussy, but I wasn't in the mood. Truth be told, I was only even fucking this broad to get her off my nerves. Lisa's hands were gripped to my back, and she stared deep down into my eyes as if trying to read my soul. Are you coming yet?
Okay.
She asked, sounding like a porn actress. I hated when she did that. It was so fucking annoying. Gyrating deep inside of her, something was off. I closed my eyes and began to fuck her harder and harder. The headboard thumped against the wall. I wondered if the next door neighbors heard us. Then again, it was about 1 p.m. on a Monday. Usually around this time, no one was home. Fuck me. Come on, fuck me harder.
Okay.
Lisa screamed as she dug her long nails into my back. Those damn shits felt like the talons of a fucking falcon. I came to an abrupt stop. I couldn't do this. I had to get to work. And all I could see at that moment was a vivid picture of Ms. Washington laughing at me, telling me she was getting away with cold-blooded murder. Nah, fuck that. She wasn't getting away with shit. Not on my motherfucking watch. What's wrong? Lisa asked the second I stopped. I opened my eyes and looked at her. I gotta go. She smacked her teeth. What the fuck? Sorry, I said as I rolled up out of her and then hopped my fully naked ass out of the bed. My dick was already limp. I'd probably just beat my shit later to go to sleep. Wait 1 motherfucking minute. You're not finished yet. You gotta finish what the fuck you started. Demanded Lisa as she scrunched herself up in the bed and pulled the sheets over her to cover up her titties. Lisa was this chick I knew from high school. We'd recently got back in touch after our 20-year high school reunion. She was the type of chick I longed to fuck when I was in high school. She was what these young niggas nowadays call a slim thick situation. In fact, all the niggas used to drool over her ass. She still somewhat looked the same, but with 3 kids, all by 3 different men, and a job paying her no more than $35,000 a year. You could tell stress and drama somewhat took a toll on her face. She kind of reminded me of Vanessa Williams. She had the same round light green eyes, yellow complexion, and bronze hair. The only difference was Vanessa Williams had money, and Lisa's ass was broke as shit. I don't even know why I went down this road with her. She never even talked to me when we were in high school. I'm sorry, but you gotta go. I got this case I'm working on, and it's stressing me the fuck out. Maybe we can link up later? I told her as I proceeded to put my clothes on. Yeah, perhaps the case was officially closed, but in my eyes, it was far from closed. I don't even know why I started fucking with you, Lisa bellowed. She sounded as if she was suddenly disgusted with me. I mean, you got a big dick and all, but damn, does it even fucking work?
Oh.
I took a deep breath and shook my head. This bitch was about to make me fucking go off. Look, please. I'm really sorry. I'll make it up to you. I promise. I lied. Yeah, nigga. I don't even know why I started fucking around with you. You were lame as fucking high school, and it's obvious you're still lame as hell. No wonder your wife left you. Ooh, whack ass. With full-on anger, she threw the covers off her stuff and jetted out of the bed. Now that was fucked up. Was that even necessary?
Yes.
I muttered, and took a quick glance over my shoulder, getting a good look of her body. As she quickly slipped on her panties, she said back to me, I'm just fucking upset right now. I'm fucking horny and I'm on my lunch break. I just wasted an hour with your ass. That's foul as fuck. Lisa still had a nice shape to her, and in any other situation, I would have definitely been ripping that cooch apart. But like I said, with more pressing matters on my mind, I couldn't concentrate on shit else, not even my own well-being, until I figured out what was really going on with Miss Washington. I suddenly managed to cool my nerves, preventing myself from cursing Lisa out. I get it, though. It was truly my fault, and I should have never invited her over knowing good and goddamn well I wasn't in the right state of mind to do anything. Now, fully dressed, I walked over to her and said, You ever been to Ruth's Chris? Nigga, I don't want to hear anything else coming out of your mouth, she barked as she pushed me out of her way and then marched over to my bathroom. I went over to my dresser and quickly pulled out something that I knew would suddenly change her tune. I then strolled over into the bathroom and watched her run water through her hair. She stared back at me, not saying a word. My hands were behind my back because I knew this surprise coming would instantly shift her funky-ass attitude. I took a few steps toward her, then reached out my right hand, revealing a rectangular black box in my palm. Suddenly she froze. What's that? Open it. She looked disarmed and caught off guard. With this slight caution, she reached out and grabbed the black box. She opened it, and instantly her entire gaze lit up like a little kid in a candy store. This can't be... Wait, what is this for? I bought this for you the other day, actually. It's a bracelet I got from Zales. I know I've been busy lately and have been blowing you off here and there, but I truly care for you. I lied. But if you still think I'm lame as fuck, then by all means, we can stop what we're doing. Just know I really do have feelings for you, and I want to take things to the next level. She clutched her mouth and her eyes began to water. I'm so sorry, No, it's cool, I get it. But do you understand now? I'm not blowing you off, it's just work has me bogged down. How much did this even cost? She asked, wiping her eyes free of tears. Now I feel so bad. I didn't mean what I said about you and your ex-wife. I'm so sorry. I'm just frustrated, that's all. I lightly chuckled as I grabbed the fake diamond-studded bracelet out of the box and helped her put it on.
Oh
like I said, this is just a symbol of my feelings for you. Oh my God, this means so much to me, she cried. See, I knew this gift would persuade her simply semi-sloppy, tired-looking ass to rethink the situation we had going on. Truth be told, the bracelet was a gift I was planning on giving to my daughter, Natasha. But since the little bitch wasn't speaking to me at the moment, I decided not to give it to her.
Alexa, pause. Did he just refer to his daughter as little bitch? I don't want to hear nothing else from him. I'm not even feeling this part of the book where, like, why are we getting his perspective? Why does it matter? Who is this nigga? I'm sure it'll bring itself around and wrap itself around in the end, but, like, over it. Play.
Spoke, she cursed me out for not being supportive of her choice to study dance in college. She told me I was such a shitty father and that she was glad Natalie, my ex-wife, cheated on me with one of my best friends. Tasha was a junior in college, so she was old enough to know what the fuck her words would do. Aside from not giving her the bracelet, I was also going to stop those payments on her car note. Although the car was in both of our names, I was paying the note. I didn't give a fuck about my credit either because it was already jacked. Oh well. Without hesitation, Lisa threw her arms around me and gave me the tightest hug. She planted kisses all up and down my neck. You would have sworn by the way she was kissing me and how her mood suddenly shifted that I had proposed to her raggedy ass. I felt like somewhat of a shitbag for giving her a gift that I clearly intended to give my daughter, but hey, guess the universe had different intentions for it. Although I was pressed for time, I was taken back a bit by the fact that it was so crazy to see how easy it was to use a piece of jewelry to distract a woman's mind. So look, I really gotta head back to work, but what is this Ruth Chris place? She asked, as she couldn't keep her eyes off the fake-ass bracelet. It was actually cubic zirconium, and it was on sale for $75. Damn, you never heard of Ruth Chris? It's a nice steakhouse, I said, giving her a fake-ass smile. They have a location in downtown, right off the river. I wanted to treat you to a romantic night. Oh, wow. This just really made me feel so differently about you, she said as she stared at herself in the mirror, swaying side to side as if she were a model. I grabbed her and began to make out with her as if we were two teenagers about to fuck for the first time. We kept kissing, but then Lisa suddenly pulled back away from me. Damn, where was all of this just a minute ago? Shit, I don't know, I replied, shrugging my shoulders. But look, let me do what I gotta do, and then I'm gonna swing by the crib later tonight and pick you up. Can you get a sitter for your kids? Yeah, I can. I'll just call my sister. She ain't got shit else to do anyways, she said. We chatted for a few more minutes, and then I led Lisa to the door to see her off. I'll call you when I'm done, okay? Okay, baby, she smiled as she strode out of the door. I quickly locked it and then flew over to my living room where I had a small office set up. I yanked my phone out of my pocket and dialed Candace, another homicide detective who worked in my unit. I didn't want to bother with Jake, and I didn't want him prying into my shit. Candace and I were cool. Real cool. We actually used to fuck around with each other, but we had to stop because she was married. What a shame, though, because her pussy and head game was spectacular.
There's no one in this
city. I never met a woman in my life who could suck a dick the way she did. I had to snap out of a daze, reminiscing about our good old times. The phone kept ringing until she finally answered. Hey, what's up, Coleman? Detective Whitaker, what's up with you? Feels like I haven't seen you in a minute. You been avoiding me? Funny you should mention. I was meaning to talk to you. Why's that? I asked with a curious brow. My husband is away for 2 weeks on vacation. I was, wondering if you wanted to hang out? I chuckled. We'll see about that, but are you sure? Remember the last time? Yeah, well, I'll make sure we have a bit more privacy. Okay, well, let me know. But in the meantime, I need your help with a pressing matter. And what's that? Don't tell Jake either. Uh-oh, what the hell you got going on? I scuffled through the notes I had sitting on my desk. So, you know I just closed out that crazy rape case? Yeah, I heard. Still kind of fucking crazy that woman was able to kill that motherfucker like that. How in the world was she able to do that? You know, sometimes I wish you were my partner. I told Jake the same thing. The old bitch's story isn't adding up at all. It's just too sketchy for me. You won't even believe what we found in her hamper, too. What's that? The woman had a fucking pair of stockings filled with tangerines. The end was tied up. Damn. Like some thin line between love and hate shit? Bingo. So you're saying this woman may have beat herself the fuck up? But what about the rape kit? Well, we haven't gotten back the lab results yet, but the lieutenant already had me close out the case and move on. Oh, God, but you aren't... Yeah. I don't know about this. I know you're a good detective and all, but is this case really worth your career if the lieutenant finds out you're doing sneaky shit behind his back? You know, I really don't care at this point. I'm pretty sure once I put 2 and 2 together, the lieutenant will reopen the case. Mm-hmm. Okay, so what do you need from me? This Percy dude. I didn't do enough digging, but I want an employment history on this guy. I want to know exactly how my victim, Miss Washington, met this man. Okay. I then heard Candace typing away at her desk. So, I'm pulling up the case now. His full name is Percival DeAndrew Jacobs. Yep. Okay, well, let me run his social and then I'll hit you back in about 15 minutes. Okay, perfect. I'll be here at my desk waiting patiently. I can't believe you're doing this on your day off. You really owe me big time, too. I smiled. I got you. Don't worry. Candace and I chatted some more and then she hung up. Chicago police contracted with an outside background check agency to get basic background information on suspects and victims. In this instant, I would have done so with Mr. Percy, but since the lieutenant wanted me to go ahead and get the investigation over with, I obviously didn't have the time to do so. In fact, he'd already assigned me to a new case. While I waited her phone call, I went and made a quick breakfast, then jetted right back to my desk. Just before I was about to sit down and devour a bagel, Candace was calling me on my cell.
Alexa, pause. So I guess we're going to figure out what happens in the next episode, because we are done. This is the look. This is the final look. Get into it. Yes. There you go. So let's talk about the book. Out of all the parts of this book that I've read, I kind of find this one to be kind of boring. Like, everything else has been so, like, twist and turn, this and that. These couple chapters, kind of boring. Yeah, but I have a feeling it's gonna pick up. Hopefully. I don't have no feeling. I'm hoping. I do want to thank you so much for making it to this part of the video. If you like the video, if you feel the vibe, if you just want to hang out next time we do this, go ahead and comment. Number one, tell me what you liked about it, or tell me what you think is going to happen next. But don't forget to like, share, subscribe, and hit that bell. That way you're going to be notified every single time I do post. Again, my name is Shay, and I'll see y'all in the next one. Bye, friend.
Julie, do the thing.